So, wait, let me get this straight. You hired a hand model for my next review? Huh. Okay. Right. Well, bye. Hi everybody, the Tom on the internet here, and welcome to Love It or Hate It. In 2015, a beloved franchise was revived and returned to us. Its fans never expected this day to have happened, and so when the news hit, the hype was massive and... Wait, why am I doing this joke? You guys saw the title of this video, you know I'm talking about BIONICLE and not Star Wars. Anyway, here's my review of the first year of this revival. The island of Akoto is in peril. Skull spiders run rampant and it is too much for the protectors. They band together and summon the Toa, 6 heroes fated to awaken Akimu, the mask maker, and defeat evil. They must find their golden masks, unleash their elemental powers, and ward off the threat while awakening Akimu. Just a little warning, I'll be splitting this review into sections due to the multimedia nature of this year. These are arguably the most important part of the theme, and to my great satisfaction I can say that they are some of the greatest Bionicle sets ever! Okay, there were some duds. But still, these sets are really impressive. Yes, they look a bit Hero Factory-ish, but you can't deny that they are good Hero Factory sets. I feel that all the Toa successfully managed to embody and resemble their original counterparts. Speaking of which, these sets did something that successfully appeased both generations of BIONICLE G1 fans. They incorporated the gear functions, for those who were there in the beginning, yet for those like me, who came later and prefer posability, the designers did something truly special. They managed to incorporate gears without sacrificing posability. You can use the gears all you want and it will still hold a pose. That is great! Also, the gearbox is an extra benefit. It manages to cover up the back, preventing the hollow back syndrome Hero Factory sets suffered from. Oh yeah, and they're pretty fun. The summer sets got some criticism for being gappy and skinny. Guys, you do realise that they are supposed to look like that. They're zombies! Anyway, these sets are pretty nice too. I don't know if they are as good as the Toa, but they are still pretty decent sets. Just like before, we also get villager sets in the form of the Protectors. They are probably the best Matoran ever made. They are small enough to be villager sets, distinctive enough to not be clone sets, despite them all having the same masks, and they are just as posable as the Toa sets. Not every set was great though. I can think of 2 sets I didn't like the look of. Lord of Skull Spiders and Skull Scorpio. These 2 animal sets are inferior to the others for one reason. Their posability is incredibly limited. These sets are all about the functions, which granted aren't that bad, but I'm a guy who prefers posing sets to messing around with a function. Also, the Lord of Skull Spiders doesn't come across as a threat for a team of Toa. A Protector, on the other hand. Maybe the animations will help with his character.
Onua! Now!
Oh. These are a series of online animations that were released sporadically over the course of the year. They are... okay. Just... okay. The animation isn't the best in the world. I'm actually wondering if the Minogue animations from 2001 are a better quality. They went for an audiobook campfire approach of them, which means that the Toa seem to have the same voice. Even Gali, the female. The dialogue isn't the best either.
I feel amazing powers. I can even hear sounds from far away.
No, you fool! It's from inside your mask. The voice of Akimu, the mask maker. He is calling you.
Funnily enough, the earlier shorts with less dialogue were more watchable. The dialogue didn't seem to become an issue until the Toa came together. However, I can't complain too much about these things. They were the main source we fans had of experiencing the new story, which is also okay. Just a simple collect the masks and fight evil story. I don't mind this too much, as the first story of BIONICLE G1 is also just as simple and underdeveloped. Also, the glimpses we got of the new world we got were pretty nice, and what little story we were given through these things provided a nice starting point. Plus, despite the alterations, it's nice to see that even with the lighter tone, the Toa still feel like their old selves.
Kopaka, Tower of Ice, was striding through raging blizzards. I didn't slip.
Overall, these animations were okay, but interesting. Speaking of interesting, the books certainly seem to be this. I haven't read them, well I've read previews, but from what I've gathered they managed to fill the gaps in the story and provide much more world building than the animations ever did. 2 books and 1 graphic novel were published in 2015. Island of Lost Masks tells the story of the animations, albeit with much more detail in the quest for the mask parts. This book was notable for naming the protectors and giving more descriptive details on the island of Akoto. However, a frequent criticism is that the book becomes less interesting once the Toa comes together, as it just recaps the events of the last 8 animations. Author Ryder Windham redeemed himself for this with the second book, Revenge of Skull Spiders, which tells the second half of the story from the Protector's point of view, as they discover that the Lord of Skull Spiders survived his encounter with the Toa. The graphic novel also details the period of summoning the Toa and their quest for the Golden Masks of Power. The artwork looks quite nice, and the writing is as good as the novels, and it also provides some nice visuals of Akoto to help expand the world building. Again, this is something I haven't experienced firsthand, so I'll be relying on Let's Plays and reviews for this part. The graphics look fairly decent, they represent the sets and environments pretty well. The levels seem to be very similar, but this is an app game, that's kind of par for the course. Besides, the various elemental powers do provide some nice contrasting combo moves, and the different kinds of Skull Spider offer some variety in the combat. Looking at other reviews, a common complaint seems to be a repetitive structure and a lack of penalties or challenges. So yeah, to summarise, this seems like it's a decently made little game. It's no Minog, but it's not trying to be. In conclusion, the reboot of BIONICLE started off fairly strong. The sets were great with few flaws. Unfortunately, the story wasn't as fleshed out as its predecessor. I feel we should have had something like Minog, or at least have a better glimpse of Akoto and its culture. Still, what we got was still interesting, and I was definitely looking forward to what 2016 had to offer. Well, I'm the Tom on the internet, and singing this off tonight, a song fellow BIONICLE fans may remember.
Run, Tahu! It's too late for me!
No.
Run, Tahu! It's too late for me!
No.